31 Public Law 1975, entitled Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this board meeting has been provided as specified in the Act. Proper notice of this public meeting was provided in the notice of January 7, 2019. Said notice was posted on the entrance of the Board of Education offices, mailed to the Nutley Township Clerk, advertised in the Nutley Sun and Star Ledger on January 17, 2019, posted on the district website. This is an official meeting. We all rise with the flag salute, please. Roll call, Ms. Cruz.
Here.
Mr. Ferrara?
Here.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Here.
Mrs. Carter? Here. Mr. Riley? Mr. Scalera? Ms. Sarah? Here. Mr. Marticello?
Here.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Ferrara, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, the Township of Nutley lost one of its biggest champions, Peter Scarpelli, who passed away at the age of 81. Pete Scarpelli was a lifelong Nutley resident who served our community with great distinction and honor. Pete was elected to the Nutley Board of Commissioners in 1983 and served as a commissioner for 25 years. From 2000 to 2004, he served as the 14th mayor of Nutley. During his tenure on the Board of Commissioners, Pete worked tirelessly to improve the township he so loved and strived to always preserve its rich history. In addition to being a public servant, Pete served and remained active in many community-based youth, civic, and social organizations, including the Third Half Club, Nutley Elks, Knights of Columbus, Nutley Unico, Nutley Chamber of Commerce, Holy Family Church, the Chiarello Kidney Foundation, and Nutley Friends of Abused Children. Pete always believed that in order to promote positive change in one's community, we needed to be involved. He remained an active part of our community until the very end. Pete loved Nutley beyond measure and would do anything to make sure it remained the great place he knew it was for future generations to experience and enjoy. Pete was a dear friend to me, and many of us on this board. He was someone you could always turn to for advice and guidance, someone with a vast history and knowledge of our township. He was a role model and a mentor to many. He was a dedicated public servant and one of the biggest advocates for the town he so loved and cherished. All those who knew Pete will forever remember his friendly smile and the musical whistling that was his calling. Pete will truly be missed. I'd like to ask that we take a moment to honor Peter Scarpelli and to extend our sincere condolences, prayers, and thoughts to his family during this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrara. Also, we've also had, I'm going to ask for another moment of silence. We've had some staff members lose loved ones over the past week or so, and I just want to have a moment of silence for them, as well as a moment just to provide our prayers and kind thoughts to other families in our district now with staff who are handling some significant medical issues. We hope for the best, and let's just give a moment of silence for those who have been lost. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we need an approval for the minutes. However, we are only going to be approving the reorganization meeting for January 7, 2019. We are going to table the open public meetings December 17th meeting as well as the executive session. We do not have a quorum. 5 board members from the meetings at that time in December. So we will move that to the next meeting when we do have a quorum. Do we have approval of the minutes for the reorg?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor? Thank you. Do we have any correspondence this evening?
Yes. I'd like to read a letter to the board that we received from Stephanie Ann Miller. As I reflect back on my experience at John H. Walker Middle School, I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to teach there. During the 3 months that I taught 7th and 8th grade English elective courses, I grew a great deal, both professionally and personally. As a new teacher, I gained experience in a range of aspects, such as planning lessons and activities, as well as conducting class itself. These elements will surely assist me on my journey to be an effective educator. On a personal level, I connected with my students to a degree that I did not imagine would be possible after such a short time period. This special bond between my students and myself was demonstrated each day by the smiles on their faces as we greeted one another, as well as in their excitement to participate in class activities and discussions. Furthermore, I was so emotionally touched by the kind and encouraging words of my students on my last day at John H. Walker Middle School. Many students said multiple times that they will miss me and that they enjoyed my class. My students also gifted me with handmade cards containing those messages and their best wishes for my future as a teacher. Although I was part of John H. Walker Middle School team for only a short duration, this school is a place that I would be lucky to call home. Should an English position become available in the future, I would love to be considered. Again, my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to teach Nutley 7th and 8th grade students. Sincerely, Stephanie Malone.
Thank you. All right, so we are going to turn the meeting over to our Director of Athletics, Mr. Joe Pyro, for our Fall Athletics Awards presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. As we do at the end of every season, we honor our all-conference award winners and any team that won an SEC championship. So as you can see, we did pretty well in the fall. It was a very, very successful fall for us. A lot of individual accolades, 2 teams winning SEC championships, and some great success across the board. So without any further ado, we're going to bring up our fall sports athletes. We'll start with girls volleyball, earning 2nd team honors in the SEC. Rebecca Granada. Callie Buchanan. Bella Swan. Anybody that wishes to take a picture as we have everybody come up with a group, by all means, you're welcome to. Representing our boys soccer team, some of our athletes are here tonight, some are not for other commitments. I'm going to call everybody up so that we can recognize that they have been chosen for the all-conference team. First team, Garrett Rowling. Garrett here. Second team, Austin Sweeney. Chris Salisbury. And Brandon Saito. And the honorable mention is Nick Curry. Congratulations, gentlemen. Representing our football team, in First team honors, Eli Acosta and Matt Durham. Second team honors, Matt Jaworski, Vincent Russo, Darren Roberto, and Dominic Capriello. Also, second team honor, Matt Cemento, Dan Jennings, and I will mention Tyler Baker. Congratulations, gentlemen. Representing our girls tennis team. First team, Brianka John. Second team, Alexander Protter, Alexander Bongo, and Hannah Lewis. Also, an honorable mention, Yaman Zhu. Representing the girls soccer team. First team, Emily D'Angelo, Mackenzie Albert, and Samantha Gabriel. Second team, Danielle Lope, Melanie Conca, Julia Paluca, with an honorable mention to Christina Capomo. Representing girls cross country, Isabel Lopez and Catherine Cantini. Representing boys cross country, Nick Duca, first team. Sean DeMarlo, first team. Vincenzo Mariano, first team. Kevin Zhang, Abhishek Dixon, honorable mention Brian McCormick, and Danish Kumar. Liberty Division Championship. Which is any other members of the boys cross country team that are here tonight, please come up and jump into the picture. Other than those, come on up. Last but certainly not least, you know, when you talk about great dynasties in sports, you talk about the 70 Pittsburgh Steelers, you always talk about the New York Yankees, you talk about the 90s and the Dallas Cowboys, and you also talk about the Nutley High School cheerleaders. In 2008, when the SEC began, so it's been 10 years of SEC cheerleading championships. Nutley's won 9 of them. The competition season that opened up a couple weeks ago, they just won the championship, the all-around championship in Sea Caucus this past weekend, and I have to get another trophy case because I don't have enough room in the one we have. They did an excellent job. They're the hardest working group of kids we have. The hardest working group of kids we have. I can't imagine how they do what they do for as long as they do it. So could I have all the members of the girls cheerleading squad come on up here? Please come up.
Just hold it up. Come on, come over this way. Right, some down. You know what to do. Sit down, come on. You gotta hold your front.
Not only are they champions 9 years running, the SEC Cheerleading Championship is a fundraiser that's raised over $70,000 in the last 10 years through the efforts of these girls and girls just like them in the college. On behalf of the athletic department, all my coaches, my athletic staff, I thank you guys for allowing us the privilege to work with your children. I thank our athletes for allowing us the privilege to work with you, the Board of Education, Dr. Glazier, our superintendent, and all the members of the central office. I say this all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world. I get to do what I want to do for the rest of my life every day. And that's work with the kids in Nutley High School, work within our district and our community, and I get to watch ordinary young men and women do extraordinary things every day. Every day. Every one of the teachers that are in here tonight get to watch ordinary young men and women do extraordinary things every day. The president of IBM doesn't get to do that. He doesn't get to do that. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations to our award winners. Enjoy the rest of your year.
Thank you, Mr. Pyro. I know this is usually a part of the meeting. We allow about 35 seconds for those that don't want to remain here. Want to welcome everyone that this is our first official business meeting in 2019. All the new board members have had the opportunity to sit with their subcommittees since our reorganization meeting, and that we're all coming together to continue our goal of providing our students with the highest quality of education, always expected from the Nutley community. We would like to also acknowledge all of the staff here this evening as they support the negotiating team as we continue through our bargaining process. With that in mind, we wanted to provide an update on the negotiations process thus far. And as we continue through our bargaining process, we believe our most important function is to provide a contract. And since the start of this process in May, we've had 10 meetings with associations along with several independent meetings to discuss, review, and prepare for continued bargaining. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse too, and I apologize, but I'll try to get louder. We are currently in our 8th month of negotiations, which seems to follow the average timeline of negotiations in New Jersey as referenced in our school board notes. With the pressure of state mandates and costs like healthcare rising by double-digit percentages, long-term budget sustainability continues to pressure school boards, not only here in Nutley, but in other communities as well. We will continue to work to ratify a fair and equitable contract which provides competitive wages, can be financially sustained for the entire contract period, and is fiscally sound to the taxpayers. As stated many times in the past, and I know many of you heard me say this, we are a partnership with our staff. And sometimes the strongest partnerships must navigate through challenging circumstances. Our promise to the teachers and to the community is this: we will continue to discuss and deliberate through the challenges and conclude the bargaining process with a contract that remains sustainable and agreeable by both parties. We thank all of our teachers and staff for providing our students with quality education, preparing them for the future and helping to foster their growth. Each member sitting on this board has had their own children, nieces, nephews, and grandchildren attend our schools, either in the past or currently. So we all know firsthand how much of an impact each of you have on our children on a daily basis, and we thank you for that. We're going to move over to the superintendent's report with Dr. Julie Glazer.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. It's been a wonderful start to the new year with staff opportunities for professional learning, lots of concerts, fundraising events, the Academic Boosters Poetry Festival, and many, many service learning opportunities. We missed the last snowstorm, but I'm going to ask you all to please stay tuned for tomorrow night into Wednesday. We are following the polar vortex. We're hoping this one misses us too, but the forecast does not look good. Next week, February 6th, Nutley is hosting the New Jersey Learning Forward Regional Conference. I'm proud and excited that our staff and administration are part of the presentation team and showcasing our work with lesson study, using student work to inform instruction, and highlighting the equity of curriculum for all students and the equity when choosing resources. I have to give a very big thank you to our K-12 math coordinator, Leanne Martin, and her staff, directors of curriculum, Mrs. Janine Loconsolo, Mr. Ken Bania, members of our local professional development committee and school improvement teams who also have chosen to participate. We had expected to have our directors of curriculum present the district performance reports tonight reflecting our progress against the learning standards. Unfortunately, even though the information is no longer embargoed by the New Jersey Department of Education, they have yet to provide the reports. So we'll look forward to having this important presentation at a future meeting once they provide that information for all of us. At the February 11th Board of Education meeting, Dr. Ross Haber will be providing the updated demographers report, including information that's been new since his report ending in 2016. This report will be used as part of the decision-making process regarding the ongoing space issues that the district faces, as well as the basis for the joint Board of Education, Planning, Zoning, and Board of Commissioners meeting that we are still trying to schedule for February. Additionally, on February 11th, Mr. Bania will be presenting information on our 6th grade teaming model pilot. So thank you for being willing to do that. There are lots and lots of wonderful opportunities and things afoot for the district, and I'll continue to look forward to sharing them with you at the next board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Glazer. We're going to turn it over to our board secretary, sorry.
That's okay, I'll take the vote.
Ms. Gallions.
Thank you. Firstly, this evening, I would like to recognize Prison Properties for their donation of gym equipment. We received items such as a treadmill, rowing machine, elliptical, and stair climber, just to name a few, for the high school weight room. Needless to say, the athletes, which I'm sure they would have if they were still here, students and staff are excited to have the equipment for training and physical education classes. This is a big boom, enabling us to upgrade this area. The next phase will include new sheetrocking and wall plates, which we hope to accomplish during the February break. And I'd like to extend a special thank you to Trustee Kaczynski for his assistance in securing this generous donation for us, and to our Buildings and Grounds Department for providing the much-needed muscle, which was used to pick up the equipment, dispose of our old broken equipment, and set everything up for the students in the weight room. Speaking of our high school facilities, we had a meeting on Friday with our plumbing contractor at the high school boys' locker room to address problems with a recurring odor. We authorized the plumber to begin work immediately to find the source and make all the necessary repairs. Pipes in the ceiling and through the walls were replaced, sewer lines jetted out and cleaned. The high school custodial staff then thoroughly cleaned the area as well. And also on tonight's agenda is the approval for the new plastering work on the high school auditorium ceiling. The work is scheduled to begin sometime next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Amons. All right, we're going to turn it over to our student representative, Mr. Ahmed.
Hey everyone. So, Night of Nations is coming up. It's February 7th in the cafeteria. We're collecting a suggested $5 donation for a canned good for the Nutley Family Service Bureau. And we've split up into countries, and Stuco is working on preparing right now. Besides that, we also started a school beautification and school spirit project. So if you've seen a couple of big posters around school, that's us. We had a field trip last week, and we're also having a field trip this week. So tomorrow, if you don't see me in class, teachers, that's where I'm at. I'm making posters. And besides that, we've also started designing the NHS Games Day shirts, and they'll soon be on sale. And we started planning the academic bowl. That's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. All right, we're going to move over to our committee reports. We're going to start off with Mrs. Danchek Martin with academic.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Academic Committee met on January 24th. In attendance were myself, Mr. Carcella, Dr. Blazer, Ken Vania, and Jeanine Loconsolo. Mr. Vania and Ms. Loconsolo provided a recap of the January 18th professional learning session for staff development. Ms. Loconsolo reviewed and drafted the preschool report card that is being developed. As it is finalized, additional information will be shared with parents. Dr. Glazer reviewed the academic calendar for 2019-2020, as well as calendars for the 12-month employees and proposed graduation calendar. Dr. Glazer also reviewed where we're at with the budget development process and presented the next steps in the process. Ms. Yeamans will make a presentation on the process to the public in February. Dr. Glazer reported on the progress of the demographic study. Dr. Haber will be making a presentation at our next meeting. We also reviewed the field trips and professional development requests. And our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, February 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Danchek Martin. We're going to move on over to administration. Mr. Kaczynski, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The administration meeting met on January 24th. Myself, Danny Carcella, Fred Scalera, Ken Wagner. Dr. Glazer reviewed the safety and security purchases and RFP since the last BOE meeting. Dr. Glazer also reported on the transition of the safe school resource officers. A letter to the community went out last week to explain the process. Additionally, a meeting was held with Liquid Church and their new security officers to coordinate efforts. The committee discussed issues that arose as a result of other conversations, such as continuing to look at removing all the voting machines out of the schools during elections. We discussed the Nutley High School auditorium reconstruction. We discussed the boys' locker room repair of the plumbing, which is on the process of being taken care of. We talked about the parking lot subdivision. We also discussed the joint meeting between the Board of Commissioners, the Planning and Zoning Board, which is coming up within the next couple of months. The next administration meeting is scheduled for February the 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaczynski. We're going to turn it over to Mr. Ferraro for finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on January 23rd. The board architects, Cara Rubino, presented plans with engineering layouts required for zoning and subdivision of the Reformed Church property. Chantel Brown updated the committee on heating conditions throughout the district, the new boilers at Radcliffe School, and the need for a boiler service contract for the high school, as well as the need to replace heat pump compressors at Lincoln School, which is on tonight's agenda for approval. He also reported on the repairs made to backboards, divider doors, and bleachers at the high school gymnasium. Ms. Yeamans reported on the status of the high school auditorium repairs, contractor plans for refurbishment, and the insurance claim, as well as tree removal at Washington School. Ms. Yeamans and Mr. Lamore reviewed tonight's finance resolutions with the committee, including budgetary transfers, building use requests, and the contractor payment application. The committee discussed the 5-year financial projections, state aid, and the 2019-2020 preliminary budget. Ms. Yeamans highlighted specific budgetary line item increases that are having significant impacts on the budget. The state aid allotments will not be released until after the governor's budget address in February. The committee reviewed a list of services that were procured through the request for proposal process. This review is done annually prior to reviewing contracts with current firms to determine if it's in the best interest of the district to solicit new proposals. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 19th.
Thank you, Mr. Ferraro. We now come to the portion of our meeting where we allow members of the public to address the board. In this section, we allow questions on only the resolutions addressed in tonight's agenda. Our board regulation 601 allows 20 minutes for these communications. Each person shall be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask you to try to stay within this requirement. Speakers may speak more than once, only after the others wishing to speak on a topic have been heard. All statements will be directed to me as the chairperson, and no one may address board members individually. Please be reminded that if your statement is too lengthy, abuse of obscene, irrelevant, or redundant, your participation may be terminated. And please remember to always state your name and address each and every time you address the board, and sign it with Ms. Guthuza before you take the microphone. Will the first person wishing to be heard please step forward? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Dancheck Martin, would you take academic resolutions, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to move academic resolutions 1 through 3 as written.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, Mrs. Kakuza?
Mrs. Dancheck Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Tamayo?
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
All right, we're going to move to Mr. Kaczynski with administration.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I move resolutions 1 through 4, just so prepared.
Second. Jan Earl?
Discussion? Roll call, Mrs. Kakuza?
Mrs. Dancheck Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Tamayo?
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes. Mr. Ferraro, would you take finance, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move finance resolutions 1 through 16.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, Mrs. Kakuza?
Mrs. Dancheck Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Tamayo?
Yes on all except abstain on number 5.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes, except no to check number 205589.
Mrs. Sarah? Ms. Sarah?
Yes to all except under number 3, check number 205641, I abstain.
Mr. Costello?
Yes. Mr. Kaczynski, would you take personnel, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I move resolutions 1 through 4, and personnel, I'm sorry, 1 through 3, actually, 4 is done.
No, 4 is on. We're good. Yep. 4 is good.
1 through 4, as so prepared.
Second.
Discussion? Yeah.
Under number 16, that will be coming up at February 25th. Will there be a person in that position at this point? This person is working here. I was just wondering if that there will be a substitute or someone.
The question was number 16, which is the appointment of Ms. Cafasso as the gifted and talented teacher to replace Dr. Marion Woods Murphy, who's retiring, if there will be a person in place. And our plan is, yes, to have a lead replacement teacher and to post for the position. There is a letter going out to the families of the students that she teaches in the Lincoln School community to explain that process. Sure. While I have the microphone, it is actually, thank you, Mrs. Court, my pleasure to read the following testimonial. Whereas Dr. Marianne Woods Murphy has tendered her resignation as gifted and talented specialist effective February 1st and has signified her intention of retiring from active service, and whereas Dr. Woods Murphy has worked in the Nutley Public Schools for a period of 5.5 years, and whereas through the years Dr. Woods Murphy has exemplified the finest qualities of the gifted and talented specialist position at all times, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education expresses to Dr. Woods Murphy its deep appreciation for her long and faithful service and extends to her its best wishes for continued health and happiness, and be it further resolved that this resolution be made part of the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call, Mrs. Kakuza?
Yes. Mr. Tamayo?
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah? Mr. Marticelli?
Yes. In this section, we allow questions or comments on all school-related matters. Our regulation allows 30 minutes for these communications. Again, each person shall be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask you to try to stay within the requirement. As stated earlier, all statements will be directed to me as chairperson, and no one may address the board members individually. Please be reminded that if your statement is too lengthy, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, or redundant, your participation may be terminated. Please remember to always state your name and address each and every time you address the board, and sign with Mr. Kakuza before you take the microphone. Will the first person wishing to be heard, please step forward.
I have a loud teacher's voice.
Try it while we're turning the button. Go ahead. Is there one down there?
No, that's fine. Can everybody hear me? Yes. So I had a question about the academic performance report. Has the state given you any explanation or timeline for when they're going to provide you that information?
So they called about 3 o'clock on Friday and said that they were extending the deadline for accepting the information from districts until tomorrow, and that they would release the reports soon after. The information is not embargoed any longer, but if you go on the Department of Education website, it still is listing 16, 17, so we didn't want to go forward without any backup.
I have a second question for Mr. Marticelli.
Sure.
My question is with regards to sport program. Is there any consideration given to or possibility of some sort of reflection piece to follow up with how the changes have gone so far this year, where we're at in terms of numbers and participation, and also, and it's just, I don't know, a request or a suggestion. Many rumors have gone on in the community about those changes. I was wondering if some sort of presentation is planned for sort of streamlining the information for how those changes have worked out.
Whoa, wow, that's really loud now. Sorry.
It worked before the meeting started.
Is that a little bit better? So, Mr. Balsamo, we will certainly have a discussion about that with the board, as well as with the administration. And if it's necessary for us to do that, we'll work on putting a presentation together to follow up from last year's meeting.
Thank you.
We're trying, we keep turning the buttons.
Do we have the, oh, that's right.
Sorry.
All right, we're all set.
Good evening, my name is Richard Pitts. I reside on 303 Hillside Avenue, and today I'm in support of my teachers at Nutley High School. I have gone through 3 different education systems, and I have worked with a variety of teachers, a variety of teams. I arrived in Nutley when I was in 8th grade in all special classes, all support classes. I am now in a junior year, and I am in honors classes and in AP classes in history of Nutley. This could have not have been accomplished without the teaching staff at Nutley High School and Nutley Middle School. Regardless of the fact, like I said when I arrived, I still do have a class where I do still struggle in, and that is math class. My math teacher, Mr. Stolp, I believe he's behind me tonight, has helped me in a manner that I could have not imagined. Last marking period, I had an A in math class, a feat that I have not accomplished since, I believe, 4th grade. He has worked tirelessly to ensure that on an individual level, I am progressing, and that everybody else in the class is progressing. He has offered plenty of time after school and at lunch to ensure that every student in the class is learning what they have to learn and that nobody is falling behind. Mr. Stolp is not the only teacher who has helped me considerably. Many teachers, such as my English teacher, Ms. Raynon, has gone far and beyond her job to ensure that emotionally I am in a good place, and in class I can focus. Besides that, like I have said before, I believe that the teachers of Nutley High School are an excellent staff, and that they deserve the best, and I'm here, and I have your support. Sorry, you have my support throughout this debate. Thank you, and have a good night.
Place. I'm here in support of the Nutley teachers. I am a recent graduate of Nutley High School, class of 2018, and I just want to speak about how teachers have impacted me. The teachers of Nutley do not work 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They extend well beyond the classroom, making sure that each student not only flourishes within the walls of the school, but is able to foster skills for the world. I don't think I will ever be able to put into words just how much they've done for me, so what better way than examples. From Mr. Ryan and Ms. Tarquini on the track, to Ms. Martin coming in on Saturdays to help prepare the AP Calc students for the upcoming exams, teachers are coaches, mentors, friends, and colleagues to many students, including myself, in ways that are not centered at school. Teachers like Ms. Lemire, who encourages the development of student-fostered groups to face problems of the world in her classroom and allows it to become a safe haven for all of them. Personally, I had her as a teacher my sophomore year, but our friendship has continued well into today. As a senior, I self-published a book, and Ms. Lemire took a copy, read it cover to cover, and gave me edits within the first 2 weeks of the academic year. She continues to encourage me today. Teachers like Mr. Salazzo and Ms. Dono became advisors for the class of 2018 and accomplished incredible things for us. They encouraged the officers to push harder and stress a little less. Ultimately, we got the tickets down to $30 for prom, and I now realize that every time they told us to stress less, they took another thing for themselves. Teachers like Ms. Raynon encouraged living in a direction and with a personal purpose, with passion and with faith. Her teaching and analysis extends beyond the classroom, and she allowed my writing to become the strongest part of my academic portfolio. She is a profound human inside and outside of the classroom and has allowed me to continue to learn under her assistance with writing, reading, and philosophy. I know that I would not be the student I am if not for the teachers that build me up. If they are asking for something, it is because they deserve it, and I know that firsthand. So please, I ask you to consider this fully and keep going. Thank you.
Being a teacher nowadays definitely isn't easy. Many of my teachers have left shiny jobs in corporate offices to give back to students, but right now, I think their sacrifices are a bit undervalued. I can't convince you guys to do anything in a 1-minute rant, but I thought it would be nice to take some time right now to note all the hard work my teachers do for us students. My teachers have played a big role in my high school journey, and they really helped me grow. It started with the help of Mrs. Lapistato, for example, that I was really able to love high school and settle in. For Set Club, she would stay back in school until 10 p.m. some days, and the art kids and I would all work together during that time to build the stage for school musicals. She spent her own money to feed us many days and sacrificed time with her family so she could help us instead. She got to school at 6 a.m. some days and stayed till 10 p.m., while also teaching a ridiculous amount of classes during the day. I still don't know how she's able to keep on working like that. Even last week, she was in a 4-car accident on the highway, but guess what she did the next day? She came to school. It was the last day of the marking period, and she didn't want our grades to suffer. When I wanted to start a club at school about addressing controversial social events, Ms. Polk and Ms. Lemire stepped up to help. Not only have they dedicated their own class time to address misinformation and bigotry, but they continue to do it every A day throughout the hour of lunch. Setting up hard-hitting discussions we have in the club is emotionally and mentally draining, but they give up their lunch periods for next to nothing anyways. For me, and for many of the kids in the club, school would be a much more hostile and unloving place if it wasn't for all the extra work that Ms. Lemire and Ms. Polk do. I could go on and on, and on and on, and on and on, naming teacher after teacher who've had life-changing impact on me. But the bottom line is that if it weren't for my teachers, I wouldn't be up on that stage right now that I just had to walk off to give this speech. To me, the education that my teachers have given me is priceless. Sorry. But as long as we're out here putting a price tag on their service, I'm here to say they deserve a lot more.
My name is Sahara Shami and I live at 430 Hartford Drive. Teachers are one of the most impactful people in our lives, yet they're always underappreciated. I graduated in 2017, yet some of these teachers still have an impact on my life. I've had many teachers impact my life, but one specific teacher that's had one of the biggest impacts on my life, even to this day, is Ms. Lemire. So I'm sure you guys know how stressful the whole college application process is, from the SAT to the college essay to the application itself. And I know for a fact that if it wasn't for her help, I probably wouldn't have gone into the schools that I got accepted into. She spent hours with me after school on her own time to basically tutor me for the SAT and help me edit my college essay, regardless of the amount of times I asked her. And we all know how expensive tutors can be, so the fact that she was willing to do this with nothing in return means the world to me. I had never had her as an English teacher either, yet she was willing to do this for me. It's something I'll forever be grateful for, because I know for a fact that if it wasn't for her help, I definitely wouldn't have gone into those schools. Everything she did for me proved to me how impactful teachers genuinely are. Whether it was school-related or just advice on life, I knew that I could count on her and other teachers such as Ms. Raynon or Salazzo. And overall, she helped me grow as a person and to become confident in myself. So, Ms. Lemire, thank you for everything that you've done for me. And all the teachers play such an important role in our lives, and they truly deserve the recognition for it. So I'm here to support you guys not only today, but any day that I would need to. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Krishna Desai, 21 Patterson Avenue. Upon entrance into high school, I personally felt a boatload of anxiety. I was scared of what was to come, as the stereotype of evil and grouchy old teachers failing me on every single assignment I completed, despite the blood, sweat, and tears I put into them, replayed in my head. Back then, my mind was focused solely on my GPA, straight A's, and unrealistic high standards. It was a new chapter in my life, and I was genuinely scared of having to be nothing less than perfect. However, this curtain of fear fell once I entered the classroom of many wonderful teachers. Not only did I learn how to write an effective argument or to find the derivative of a function, but I learned about the potential I have to initiate some positive change. I remember the readings and deep discussions we had in my 10th grade English class. She included so much about the problems of the world in our daily lessons, from reading the Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail to Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Our entire class became conscious of the world's problem. I understood that getting a 9 out of 16 on a multiple choice was not the end of the world. And that it was not the end of the world, and I was able to walk away with understanding that discussions and knowledge can easily prevent the spread of ignorance. During the gun control protests in early 2018, we spent time in class analyzing speeches and fact-checking every piece of information that we could possibly find in order to be properly educated about both sides. We also studied speeches by Emma Gonzalez and Wayne LaPierre and realized that rhetorical modes and devices were utilized to effectively deliver an argument. Ms. Lemire and several other faculty members have been there to lead club meetings after school and talk to us students personally if there are any problems related or unrelated to school. The word teacher is most definitely an understatement. I believe the word superhuman is more appropriate. As a matter of fact, these evil and grouchy old people are actually bright and considerate individuals who will do anything in their power to ensure their students are the best that they can be. I cannot thank any of my teachers enough for the amazing impact they have had on me and my fellow peers. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michaela Skelly, and I live at 11 Howard Place. I am a former student of Nutley High School, and as well as fourth generation to Nutley. So I come from a long legacy of Nutley residents, and I have very fond memories of Nutley teachers all the way from Radcliffe, as my mom was at the same exact school as I did. So I stand here knowing that we love our teachers, but saying that we want to pat them on the back and you're doing such a great job really isn't living out what support is, because support is giving assistance. And if we're not giving assistance, especially financially, then we're basically saying that it's not that important. And I don't believe as a Nutley resident in our community that we believe that. So I just want to quickly highlight a few teachers that have really made an impact in my life. Sueda Garcia, I had her for AP Spanish as well as Spanish for honors. I'm Irish and Italian, I am not Spanish in any way. I ended up walking out of there being able to speak fluent Spanish. She helped me so that I could be a tutor in Spanish. She stayed with me after school to show me what books to use, because tutoring soon became more like teaching, as all the teachers here know how much extra work they really have to do, because I had a passion for it. Mrs. Rosillo, Miss Montu, my humanities teachers, I wanted to do these crazy presentations, and they would come in early so I could use the auditorium and the lights, because they had to be there for that. They did not have to do that, but they saw that I had a passion for it, and they wanted to continue that. I could not stand up here and talk about teachers who have impacted my life if I did not mention Mrs. Reno. One of the most important things that Mrs. Reno has ever taught me is that you cannot control the things that happen to you in your life, but you can control how you deal with them. And I believe that it is our choice to choose to make teachers a priority, because that is what a Nutley citizen is. And I am proud to be a Nutley citizen, because I believe we are going to make those changes. So thank you, from elementary school to high school to every profession. We support you, and we need to live out and support you. Thank you.
Street, President and new spokesperson for NPAN, Nutley Parent Advocacy Network. I just wanted to let the community know I just wanted to let the community know that NPAN will continue to work towards our mission of advocating for the parents and the students of Nutley. We will continue to provide services and workshops for the parents and the staff
My question, is the parent organization that is required by law still functioning? It is? Is there a president to that organization?
I'll go through the committees again, but I believe it's Sal Ferraro that was appointed to that committee. I'll check through it, but I believe, I'll go through the committees again, but I'm almost certain that Mr. Ferraro was assigned to it.
Okay, because if you are the president or the parent that is or part of the board rep for that. Because I would like to get together with that group, get together with Helen Doyle, because there's a workshop that I have in there that would benefit both staff and parents to get together and do that. The way to do it is to get the parents to the meeting and to educate them also.
Ms. Ferraro, I'm going to actually have Dr. Glazer facilitate that with you and Ms. Marino. So if you can, provide us with your email address, and then when you decide that it's there, I'll just make a note of it.
Okay.
And I'll make sure that we facilitate that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. That's what I just wanted to let everyone know. And then also, as a teacher myself, and also without a contract in my district, I support the teachers, and please settle their contract. We work very hard. We are very hard workers.
Good evening. My name is Anne Marie Giello. I am a resident here on 21 Humbert Street in Nutley. I'm here in support of the teachers, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I've had an amazing experience here in Nutley Public Schools. My son started at 3.5 years old. He went into the ABA program on a communications eye, and he's had both Mrs. Gandolfi and Mrs. McNulty as speech teachers. He's had several of the ABA teachers, and I cannot tell you, I went from a mom who thought that my son would never talk to a mom that gets to hear her son every day. And it's not because of me, it's because of them. And they've done everything that they can to give my son a voice. And I get to hear that beautiful voice every day. I've been, in these schools a million times over, and I can't tell you how amazing these teachers are. And one thing you hear all the time, and this is something that really rings true for me, is you hear that it takes a village. And you hear that all the time when it comes to raising children. They're my village. And they've always been my village. Because they're the ones I care for and teach my son every day. Whether it's the teacher, the paras, or the related services. They've done so many things for my son and my family that I couldn't raise my son without them. And they deserve all the recognition for that. Just because they come to work every day from 8 to 3, they're not here. I see them all here every day. I pick my son up from aftercare. His teacher's still there. I just wanted to let you guys know that
I'm loud, I can do it loud. I just wanted to convey as a parent how much that they really do for us and our children. That they deserve that recognition. And I know that it's hard, and I'm a parent myself, just as the other woman was a teacher herself. I'm a parent at ABA program, and I know how long and hard those days can be. And every day they give 100% because the only thing that's never crossed my mind is, well, is this going to affect my son's education? And it never has. The only thing I ever worry about is how they stay sane through all of it, because I do the same thing every day. But never once has the quality of my son's education come into question because of what an amazing job they did.
My name is Mike Stoffer. This is my address down is the EA in 37 City Avenue. I am the Vice President of the Education Association of Nutley, also the negotiations chair. I want to thank these students who got up and spoke tonight. I know it's not easy to get up in front of a crowd. You are the reason that these people sitting behind you are here. You're the reason they come to work every day. You're the reason they put in those extra hours for things that you need, okay? I know a lot of teachers' names were mentioned tonight by these students, by parents, but I want to tell you, everyone sitting in this room here tonight is one of those special people who get up there and they put it all out in the classroom for the students. Additionally, the parents who showed up tonight to support us, and that little girl with the sign, my teacher. And it is true how the board has negotiated with us since May. We've met 10 times trying to get through all of this, but it is also true that the association was ready in October. We probably developed this a long time ago. Thank you very much.
My name is Sean Mendoza. I'm from 29th Street. I've grown up in Nutley my whole life, and all these teachers from elementary school to high school, and all these teachers have impacted me so much, and they've inspired me to become who I am today. And without any of these teachers sitting in the audience right now, none of them would have made me the person I am today. With what they do, with how hard they work, and all that they do impacts all of us so much. And it's just amazing how all of them work so hard to be a better teacher, to be an inspiration to all of us. And without them, I don't think any of us would be here today. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to speak loud. I don't know which one it is. All right, are we better? Okay, there we go. All right, so anyone else wishing to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I would like to thank the students tonight. What an amazing job. The things that you do every day, coming up here and speaking, really continues to show us as a board that we have the right people in the right places, and we really, really appreciate everything that you do to support the teachers. We are here to continue our process in working with the teachers, and I'm certain that we will come to conclusion. And with that, we are going to be closing our meeting this evening. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board?
I just wanted to know, I know that there's probably I just want to know, I understand that in every single elementary school, there's a great strategies program, but in one of the schools, Spring Garden, they only have one part-time strategies teacher. I was just wondering if there was going to be a possibility of getting a full-time strategies teacher there. I'm just wondering.
That is one of the staffing requests that we have for consideration in the 1920 budget.
Okay, whereas the Board of Education will discuss the matters of public discussion to pursue to NJSA 10:4-12. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Education recess to close executive session at this time to discuss student matters. Be it further resolved that the results of discussions will be made public by inclusion on the agenda of subsequent meeting of the Board of Education, or the reasons for discussing such matters in closed session no longer exist. Do we have a motion to go into close? All in favor? We got a second. Yes, all in favor?